guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ina and today I have a different type of video. So I'm gonna take you along how I look after one of my houseplants. This is a Caladium, as you can see, it's exactly here in front of me. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I learned about Caladiums, about the things that I researched, and also I report this Caladium. So if this is the type of content that you like, that you enjoy, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and and I'd love to hear your comments from it, or if you could give me some tips as well. I'm not a specialist on it. I have mostly orchids at my home, but I do have many houseplants, and I come from a tropical country as well. So I use some of the things that I learned when I was a child and when I was growing up on my approach to my plants. So without further ado, let's start this video. So I have here a no ID Caladium. I have no idea how it's called. The only thing that I can tell you is that it's a heart-shaped leafed one. Has like a brownish reddish center and a lime green border on its leaves. It's growing pretty fast. I'm not taking like the amazing good care of it. It came in this tiny pot, which makes me very, very unhappy. So I need to repot it immediately. So I decided to take you along. Some things that I know about Caladiums. First of all, they are from South America. Where I grew up, I remember seeing some of them outside. So I do think when you have the proper environment and you have gardens and stuff, you can easily grow these plants outside as well. But in my case, I live in a flat, so I don't have any outdoor space. I have the only Caladium is this one, and I have it inside my flat. Why I decided to buy this Caladium? Because I love their leaves. I think they're so interesting. Especially, I don't know, there are the ones with red. There are some of them that are white or a little bit more like transparent. You can see the veins clearly as well. So I think because of the diversity, for me they seem really wild. I love these leaves. They do remind me of alocaceous leaves as well, or colocaceous. I do think they have some traits, some similarities. They are tuberous, so we have a bulb inside here with the roots, but I'm not gonna get into so many details. The reason why I decided to buy this Caladium, as I already mentioned, it's because I found its leaves amazing. And you can have a variety of different leaves as well. Caladiums are so colorful. I think some of them can be very large, so the leaves will grow. So if you want to have a statement piece with a colorful leaf in your home, I think Caladiums are great for it. There is one that's white that I think it's amazing. I don't have it. I have only this one, and I intend to take very good care of it. I want it to grow a little bit larger so I can show it to you. From this part, I'm going to use my phone to tell you part of my research, the things that I learned while on the website, because as I mentioned, I've seen some Caladiums growing outside in my country in Brazil. I've seen that in gardens. But indoor plants, the first time that I have experience with that. So far, I'm not finding it difficult, but it needs a lot of water. What I have here on my phone is some care ideas and care tutorials for Caladiums. What I learned is that they need medium light. You can provide them with morning light and afternoon light, but be careful like with midday light, because you can burn the leaves and the leaves can become like brownish and papery. They like intermediate light. So as I mentioned before, offer them some morning sunlight or afternoon light. Another thing is that they need a lot of humidity. You have to keep an eye on the medium. What I usually do, I put my finger. I know if you don't like to have your fingers dirty, it's not the best way, but love plants, yeah, that's for me is the best way. I touch the medium and then I check if it needs water or not. Sometimes you can see that's completely bone dry, but it's not ideal. Another thing that's very important about Caladium is if you have pets or very young children, I would advise you not to get a Caladium because they are toxic for pets and children. So just to let you know, it's different from most of the orchids that I have here that are not toxic at all. Caladiums, they are toxic. So as I mentioned, like alocaceous, colocaceous, these are tuberous plants. So we do have a tuber inside. Some people mention as well that they can become dormant if you have extreme difference between temperatures according to the different seasons. I don't know how it behaves indoors because we don't have a massive temperature differentiation inside our homes. So I have to observe and to see how it goes. But what I notice is it's okay for you to let in a bright shade spot. Another thing is keep an eye on the medium. This plant needs a lot of water, so it enjoys its humidity. But if you can keep up with the watering and keeping it in a bright shade location, I do believe it will grow for you to grow nicely. I don't think it's a very difficult plant as far as I researched. And another thing that I know is even if these leaves are not doing very well, another thing that you can do, you can propagate it. You can use, because a tuberous plant, like you can propagate alocasia, we have a bulb inside. So you can use this bulb and basically you can offer this plant a new beginning. So even if the leaves are not going very nice, so what you can do, you can actually pot the bulb that is inside the pot, repot it and offer a new beginning to this plant, which is amazing. It offers you more opportunities to save it. Usually when you have bulbs also store energy for the plant, which is also good. So that's are the things that I learned. Again, humidity, bright shade location, also a well-drained medium. I'm gonna address that now that I'm gonna pot it. And I think you're good to go with your Caladium. And the good thing about Caladiums, you can have a diversity of different leaves. I don't think they are very expensive. I think they are affordable plants as well. And again, because they are tuberous plants and they have a bulb inside, even if these plants are not doing very well, you can definitely propagate it and plant this bulb and have a completely new plant. So that's what I have to tell you. That was my introduction to Caladium. Please let me know if you have Caladiums and what you think about them. I'm sorry about the noise. I live in a flat, so it's pretty noisy outside. I hope it's not disturbing the video too much. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna pot this plant. Although I found this pot so cute, it's cute. I'm gonna probably use with one of my miniatures orchids. But yeah, I found the pot really nice. But I have to remove it from here. I think it's too small for the plant and I want it to become a little bit larger than that. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna use to repot this plant in 1 second. So I have a pot here that is horrible, it's horrendous, but it will fit its purpose. You see, it's larger than the original pot, but I know that's over-potted, but I don't find it to be a problem with houseplants. Orchids can be a little bit trickier if you don't know how to balance the medium. Houseplants, I think, I never had problem before. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do with the Caladium. I have a nicer pot to place it inside afterwards. I have all-purpose soil here. That's what I'm gonna use. But I'm gonna mixture that with moss to make the soil a little bit more humid, and also with bark. Then bark, it's used to give air, to aerate the medium, to provide some drainage. I don't have perlite. Perlite is also great. So what I'm gonna do instead of perlite, I'm gonna use bark and I'm gonna use moss. So I will do a mixture of the three and I'm gonna put my Caladium inside. 1 second. So as you can see, I have a mixture of soil, moss and bark, and I'm gonna mixture them three and I'm gonna place it in here. I'm gonna do it here already. Usually with orchids, I place moss on the bottom and then I create layers with them. But with houseplants, I won't do it. It's a little bit different, so I'm gonna mix it myself and I'm not gonna create any layer. I think I put too much. Just food for thought. Anyway, that's good because I may reuse that with my Hoyas. I think that's actually a good idea. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna place some in the bottom. I'm gonna squeeze the pot like that. I'm not gonna remove all the soil because, to be honest, I don't need to do it. I'm gonna just, oopsie daisy. Anyway, why not? I'm disturbing the plant, but I can show you something nice. Maybe I'm gonna give you a close-up. Potato, not potato, I don't gonna say. So anyway, haha, you can see here, I'm gonna give a close-up, but you can see the main bulb, the tuberous part of the plant. Let me give you a close-up. That's what a tuberous plant looks like inside. That's what I mentioned that you could do. It's good. I'm going to give you a close-up of the leaves as well. It's my Caladium. It's good to show you what a tuberous plants look like. So what I'm going to do now is just fill the pot with my medium. I found houseplants much easier to pot than orchids because the soil will just find its way through the pot. With orchids, we have to manage a little bit more. When you use organic medium, I do believe with an organic must be a little bit easier as well. So what I'm doing here, I'm almost there. I'm gonna place some slow release fertilizer, just because I think it helps the plant to grow. Something else that I'm doing here is the last layer. I'm gonna add some bark just to let the pot a little bit prettier, but it's not something that you have to do. Another thing that I really love to use stones, some rocks that I found in place. I collect them and I like to put like white rocks on the top of the pot. That's, I don't know, I think it looks nice, but that's just a preference. You can use whatever you want. So yeah, so it's almost done. So my Caladium is potted. Let me remove this huge mess from here before I continue the video. So here I have my Caladium in its new pot. The pot's not much bigger than the other one though, but I think it has more room now to put out roots and grow nicely. I'll find a nice spot to place it. It has been suffering a little bit. The newest leaf is this one, is much smaller than the other two. So it needs some care. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna water it and place it in my shelving or somewhere where I have a bright spot where they will enjoy the bright shade location or receive some morning or afternoon sunlight. And hopefully I have a bigger Caladium soon with much prettier leaves. These ones are not looking very nice. But yeah, so is my new plant. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you want to see more houseplants content. I have another videos that I'm planning on. I have some allocations there that I have worked previously. I also have some philodendrons that need some care, and I want to talk about them. And also I have some Hoyas to address too. So I do have these plants that I need to get to them soon, but I'll try to film that. If there is something else that you'd like to see, please let me know as well. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. If you want to see some beautiful flowers, I have an Instagram account called One Orchid a Day. I post pictures of my orchids, new blooms, what's in bloom at the moment, and some stories with my houseplants in it as well. Have a lovely week. Thank you very much for being here today. See you soon. Bye bye.